right, y'all. We back on the scene to pull the lesson out. This is Gaming Looks Good, episode 11, and we're talking about Nintendo Splatoon. This is the show where we look at diversity in gaming. So that can be race, that can be gender, sexuality, all kinds of different stuff that makes these games that we love tick. I'm Shareef Jackson, broadcasting to y'all live out of Milwaukee. As you see, I got the broken wrist going on from a little IKEA adventure, but still here to give you that game and stuff. And this week's shirt, so this is from the Black Tribbles, who is a dope collective out of Philly. So if you are in the Philly area, definitely check them out at Black Tribbles on Twitter and blacktribbles.com. They're a group of 5 black nerds that talk about all kind of dope nerd stuff. And we definitely hung out a lot during my Philly time. So check them out. So let's get into Splatoon, y'all. So let's start out with the website here, just to give you an idea of what the game is. Basically, it's a multiplayer shooter where the objective is to cover most of the level in ink. So like you have these different ink weapons. As you can see, they have like the little super soakers and the rifles, and they have all the customizations and stuff. And if you see in the back there, you see 2 black folk, right? So they do have, it looks like that they have some diversity here, and I'm kind of like, all right, dope. And you can also see that some of the characters are women, right? So off the bat, you know what I'm saying? This is the landing page on the website. I'm kind of like, all right, cool. Could be dope. Now, as we scroll down here, like we pretty much see that if we want to click on the top here and go to the overview, then we have a nice video here. Great. And then as we scroll down, I start to notice that most of the images that they show here are of the white characters, right? As we go to like the plaza, here are the like representatives in the online battle. So we have like the male squid white. And then as we scroll down some more white. And then here, in this video, it looks like we see some of the black characters, but at this point it's very clear that their default characters that they want to show in their marketing are white. So those 2 little black characters that I saw on the landing page, they kind of disappear when like it goes into the official marketing. And that's even the case on the Inklings page of the website, where they show sort of, this is the default kid, who is white. And here's the default girl, white. And as we look through all these photos here, well, like these are mostly the ink blots. Let's scroll down a bit. White, 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 right? So I'm like, yo, like, what happened to the diversity that I saw on that first page? So it looks like up to this point that they're doing pretty well on the gender side, but I'm not seeing a lot of color here until we get to the fresh gear page. And this, unfortunately, really plays on a theme that I see in a lot of games that try to advertise their diversity. Is when they show the people of color in the game, they usually show it from, hey, you could customize like your character. You can add a cool hat, a cool shirt, hey, and you can make them black. So like when you look at the marketing stuff, when like you notice that most of the black characters appear on this customization page, that shows you that, hey, like the default is white, but hey, if you want a little customization, you can add some color there. So that kind of threw me for a loop, because even if you look down, like you still see that the majority of these characters here, even in these customization shots here on the bottom, are white. So if we scroll back to the top, I'm still left with that feeling that, that the blackness is just a mere characterization here, instead of like, hey, let's diversify our characters. And when we go to the amiibo section, guess what color the amiibo are, y'all? They are white. There's a little white amiibo on the gamepad. White, 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 and white. So now, in a game which is supposed to have different shades of like color, couldn't they have made at least one of these amiibo a different color? I mean, it just is a big waste, of the supposed diversity in this game. So I feel like it has a big intersectionality issue where, no black women, that that really showed a lot in the marketing. And it's a wasted opportunity because it's a game about kids that turn into squids, right? So like, why not take that ridiculous premise and make sure that you have a diverse array of like people that are not seen as characterization and outfits, which is also similar to what we saw in episode 9 on Box Boy. So now that's the website. So now let's get into the actual game. So let's start the video here. Yeah, so this is the first thing that you see is choose your gender, and they're both white by a default, of course, right? Once again, y'all, whiteness is the default. And then once we go there, we get to pick a skin tone, which is cool, but you always start on that default of a white again. Now you know that I'm gonna crank up that blackness, right? So I'm gonna go all the way to the right. But how much trouble would it have been to maybe randomize this, right? Maybe show that there was like a default says sometimes white, sometimes in the middle, sometimes high yellow, sometimes red bone, sometimes dark skin, right? I mean, there's so many options. The default does not always have to be white. And then you can choose your eye color, which is also cool, right? So as we go on, it dumps you into a training level, and one of the first images that they show here, they actually show a black character, which is dope, right? But once again, it's still in that sort of customization thing where you see hey, you can put on goggles, you can have this baseball cap, oh, and you can be black. All right, so it's not something that showed a lot in their stuff outside of the categories. So I'm gonna bounce out of the tutorial. I'm gonna choose my weapon, and as you see on the lower left there, default character is like white. Every time that you start this game, no matter what your character looks like, which is mine on the right, on that left is when you're gonna see, if you pre-purchase, you get some gear, and of course the person modeling that gear is white. So I'm gonna pick the little sniper rifle because that is what I was rocking with. But again, y'all, this is a really wasted opportunity here by Nintendo when they've really fallen into a trap that I've seen a lot of games that I've profiled fall into, is only including blackness as an accessory and a side thing that you can choose to change from your default. Now, let's look here at the initial characters as they are unveiled. So these are the characters that are in my online game, right? So I'm there in the back, and you see that we have some different skin tones here, which is actually cool. And now let's look at the opposing team here, and you also have it. So it looks like that the players, and I noticed this over several games, that the players are actually not only picking that pasty white default that you see. So it looks like the players, as part of this beta, were invested in these different skin colors and these different eye colors as well, because guess what? The gaming space is diverse, right? So why isn't that reflected in the marketing? That is the main question. So it's a really fun game. As you see here, I'm splattering all around, and I'm covering all the board with my ink and that kind of thing. So it's a lot of fun, but it could be marketed a little different, and so I'm gonna have to give Nintendo a little bit of grief on that one, even though I'm going to get this game because it's a ton of fun. So once again, y'all, that's Gaming Looks Good for this week on Splatoon. I'm Shareef Jackson. Check out the rest of the series at gaminglooksgood.com or at #GamingLooksGood on Twitter. You can follow me at Shareef Jackson or ShareefJackson.com. Peace, y'all.